This presentation will cover employee network groups and the reasons why you would want to create and have groups such as this inside a company. The first thing to cover is an overview of what is an employee network group. Usually abbreviated as ENG. They're sometimes called employee resource groups and affinity groups. And basically what they are is a group of employees meeting together in a supported forum or enabled format that have as their members people who comprise a particular group, have something in common that makes them identify with one another. This may be race-based, it may be gender-based, it could be sexual orientation, it could be veteran status, it could be many things. We will cover sort of the parameters of what makes up the more common groups as we move through this presentation. So some examples of how these groups are implemented and what focus areas are found. The prevailing study that everyone seems to refer to in this area is one that came from Mercer in January of 2011. Mercer is a human resources research company. They do a lot of salary and trend research in the HR area. Number one group they found in their study was would be a diversity group aimed at women. Groups based around race and ethnicity came in next, followed by LGBT groups, disability-oriented groups, generational groups, multicultural groups, groups for working parents, and those for veterans and people with military service. The average annual budget spent by the companies in the survey, and there were approximately 64 companies in that survey, was fairly small. It was $7,000 for every 100 group members, and some spent more than that, but it doesn't have to be a huge budget commitment in order to support these groups. Mostly it's around using resources you currently have, and really just enabling and allowing the groups to be pulled together. Some of the companies that participated and some of the companies that one can find on the internet as well that tout their commitment to these networking groups are listed here on this page. You should recognize almost all of them. They cross many industries, from health insurance, manufacturing, customer service oriented and retail companies like McDonald's, Cisco, which does systems and networking, of course, finance, Wells Fargo, Boeing, which is manufacturing again, State Farm, which is insurance. A very wide representation of the large companies in the United States. Some of the benefits of having these resource groups or network groups. The four major ones we found were recruitment. Obviously, you would want to get as good a staff recruited as you can, and do not want to limit yourself to by any parameters. So these groups can help people from a very diverse variety of backgrounds feel that they could find happiness working for a company that supports them. So recruitment would be very positively impacted by this kind of policy. Retention of key employees and retention of your diversity and your diverse work group is increased by this type of approach. Talent development is also enhanced. Young people of various races and various diverse groups, would find a way forward into the ranks of management via these groups, and it's a great opportunity to develop and to identify talent as people get comfortable and work within the resource group that best fits their identity. And then market outreach. There's obviously a positive spin to be gained from a company that is inclusive and positively active around diversity. There are some risks in going forward with some of these kinds of groups. You can have conflict inside of a group as people vie for power. It's also possible inside of churches, so any group of human beings is susceptible to that. Good control and good management practices and good policies would help mitigate some of this. You could have backlash as people react negatively to anything that singles out any special group. You would want to watch out for that. Probably would want to make sure you are inclusive enough and you have groups that cover the majority of your workforce, so that people don't feel that favoritism might be perceived in some of these groups. The groups could get a little bit uncontrolled. They could become a little too independent. That's a fear that many people have. The mitigation for that would again be good policy and good oversight. Again, groups and the power within groups make people feel that they are speaking from a position of strength, and you definitely want to have policy and process and procedure in place to prevent people from becoming unauthorized spokespeople for the entire company when that isn't the intent or is not authorized. And there could be resistance to joining anything new, so there's a risk of adoption that you will have to overcome in the beginning of any program like this. My recommendation would be to move forward with this attempt to set up enterprise network groups and employee network groups. You're definitely going to want to establish a governance structure and team. You're going to want to appoint an executive owner, probably someone at the director level or above, and a reporting mechanism for the governance team and the owner to report to each other and report up. Policy for groups and how they're run and how they interact will need, both inside and outside, will need to be determined. Reporting frequency around report outs from the group and their progress and their interactions with the rest of the company would need to be established. Obviously, you have to publish your policy. And then, I would suggest that we set up a pilot group or two, and that we let our employees determine what those should be. We'll see where the interest lies. Take the easier route. Don't try to force something here. Begin with 1 or 2 pilot groups and take it forward from there. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate the chance to present this.